Hey there, welcome to My Green Pets. I'm William Green. Let's have a look at the orchid collection today. Everything nice and green, lots of growth. Interesting stuff happening with my Mormodia jumbo world over here. Let's have a look. So you can see the spikes have dried up. And when the spikes were growing out, I had some people say, "Oh, is that like a cakey or something growing on that growth there?" And I was like, "Oh, no, it's just the growth." But I mean, it's just the spike. But look at that. Something's growing out of there. And that's not all. If you look in the pot, you can see that's a pseudobulb. And there's another one up here. So, can these things form new plants from the roots? I have not seen this happen before. So I'm not sure if this is going to be another plant or another spike. Something's definitely growing there. And then there's two bulbs that are just in the pot. Crazy. Plant is still dormant, won't get any water for a couple months, but weird what it's doing. And it's taken everything out of this back bulb, so it's like it's thinking, it's processing. Pretty cool. Cycnoches cooperi growing nicely. Little growth there. Hopefully we'll get a nice big growth this year that will bloom for us next fall. Looking forward to seeing how this guy does. Cycnodes Wine Delight also still has all its leaves. They're kind of turning yellow, but new growth already well started, and looks like the first little root nubbin has started to push out of that new growth as well. So the medium is got a little bit of moisture in it, but I'm done watering. I'm not going to water anymore. You can see the roots are looking white, so that's good. That tells me that they're mostly dry. So I'll let this guy root for a couple months before I water it again. Nice head start on that guy. Lights just kicked on. My Cali Rex Mayu, for some reason, this leaf is leaning forward. It probably has something to do with light reflecting off the vinyl here or something. It's kind of interesting how they can change their position, but it's a little annoying. I was hoping it would grow straight up, but there's just no way to get them to grow exactly the way you want them to unless they're just directly under the lights. But this guy is coming along very nicely, and I expect this to be a blooming size growth. Last year it had 2 flowers and a nice big pseudobulb. This year I would hope at least that many, maybe some more. Right here in the front you can see Cali Rex Mayu. This is the awarded clone from last year with 3 nice new growths on it, and you're starting to see their leaves poke out. Last year this plant, it bloomed twice, but about a month apart. So if I'm able to get lucky enough where the plant would send out all its flowers at once, it would definitely be something that I would want to take in, possibly get an award for cultural merit, but we will see. Back here in the back we've got Orchid, and it's got growth there, and then 2 really big nice ones coming up there off the same old growth. Again, this plant bloomed 3 times last year, but it bloomed once in April, and then 2 spikes bloomed at the same time in June. So again, it would be wonderful if they would all bloom at the same time, but they kind of grow out erratically. They don't all put out growths at the same time. Cattleya maxima has a nice new growth coming up there too. And then these sheaths probably won't bloom until, I don't know, several months, probably 6 months or so. It blooms on those. Cali Gaskeliana's chugging along with something down here. I would love for it to be a flower spike, but not likely. But who knows? We're gonna keep hoping. I don't see anything on this other side down here. Normally it grows out both ends, but still lots of growing season left ahead of it. This Rex tried to put out a growth earlier this year. It started in November, which was kind of right as dry season was starting, so that one didn't go too well, but it's got another one right behind it. And of course the previous growth, even though the leaf broke off, it's still rooting normally like a growth would, and that's going to support that new one too. So I don't know, last year's leaf was pretty big. I would love to get a blooming size growth off this thing this year. RLC Jesse Lee just reduced to just a few back bulbs last year. It managed to put out this little growth and actually bloom on it with one flower, but this year it's got more of a normal sized growth pushing out. Lots of roots, very ambitious. This one was trying to crawl into the bulbophyllum here. I had to move it out of the way. But it looks like Jessie Lee, aggressive grower that she is going to hopefully have a nice new growth with a few flowers on it in a few months as well. Most of the other Cattleya species seedlings that I have are putting out new growth. This one's really exciting. This is a Cattleya Libyata seedling. Really nice new growth with lots of pigment in it. And usually this top bract is where the pseudobulb will kind of end right here, and then the leaf will be above that. So that kind of gives you an idea of how large it's going to be. Here was the previous pseudobulb. This one's going to be up to here, and then that leaf is coming out really nicely too. That's this is from Christopherson collection. This is Sherwood Forest by Parola rubra. And a few more years, but excited about it. Some of my Cali Rex seedlings that were from Peruflora in May, they arrived when Peruflora was at the Tamiami Orchid Festival, and check this out. We are not even a year out of flask, and it looks like our first pseudobulb is pushing out there. That is wonderful. And such good color on these two. There's another one, little pseudobulb pushing out the side. And then this one, I think, on the opposite side, there's a little growth coming out. Yep. Wonderful. I cannot wait. I mean, it's obviously, again, years till these guys are going to bloom, but these are from Peru. They've got a lot more diverse gene pool down there. This was from a 5-pack. It was a flask that supposedly had 5 different varieties of Cattleya Rex in it. These look so similar. These seedlings look so similar. I'm guessing they're the same variety, but I do expect them to be quite different than the ones that I have already, and just super excited to see what those turn into. The Dawianas look pretty good too. Some of them, like this one, look at that new growth. That looks like a pseudobulb growth instead of kind of one of these seed leaves. So that's looking great. And then these 4 are the Dawiana rositas. I am so impressed. Look at the size of the new growth on this one. Wow. And the length of the leaf coming out here. Even though it did get a little mechanical damage, I actually accidentally bumped it. This one also, big leaf coming out. And what's crazy about that is that these are from a selfing. These are from a Dawiana rosita selfing. And I thought that, I guess I had the idea that selfings were just always producing weaker plants. But apparently that's not necessarily the case. These guys are super strong growers. Look at all the roots. I mean, these are I don't know, they're great. Got a little Blossfeldiana here. Starting to crawl out of its pot, putting out some nice leaves and bulbs. Looking great. This is Cali Hardiana. This is from Carter and Holmes, got a new little growth on it. And of course, roots crawling out of the pot. They don't want to be in the pot. I wish they would stay in the pot, but guess they're not going to. They're going to do what they want. This is my Cali Labiata semi-alba from Carter and Holmes, and the bulb now is swollen up to the point where it's split out of this sheath. That's always cool to see. I like to tear the sheaths off once they dry out to expose the bulbs. That one looks good. My Cali Gaskeliana, I was really excited about getting this species, but I don't know if it's just the plant. This is also from a selfing. It was not in great shape when I got it. It is putting out a new leaf down here, you can see, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a very big one. So, fingers crossed it's able to get some momentum going and pick back up. I was really hoping to have a Gaskeliana, a big healthy one, so we'll keep our eye on it. Dendrochilum tenellum. This is a really cool little orchid that typically blooms in the spring. So if it's going to bloom, it's going to be in the next couple months. I hope we get something out of it. It is pretty cool, and the flowers just really make it look pretty amazing. Alright, this is about it for the update today. I want to encourage you guys to tune in next week. Yesterday, Stephen Van Kampen-Lewis and I joined Dustin from Here But Not in an Orchid Chat, and man, Dustin just blows me away with his knowledge, the depth of knowledge that he has about his plants. And obviously his plants, you know, they speak for themselves. They look absolutely fantastic. I think it's good to definitely, you know, talk to people who their plants look better than yours, because it's just, you know, it's inspiring, truly. And I can see all kinds of little things now about my collection that I'm like, oh, I could do this better. I could do this better. So do tune in next week. That's going to be a great conversation. Hope you'll enjoy it. And till then, I'm William Green. This is My Green Pets, and hope you have a great week. See ya.